Multiple injuries after a horrific peak hour crash between two buses. From leader to out in the cold, Bathabile Dlamini doesn't make the cut in the ANC's Women's League. More revelations and drama in the Meyiwa trial as Zandile Khumalo wraps up her testimony. And this is how South African firefighters fought the flames in Canada. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton. Good to have you with us.
This is Eyewitness News.
How is it possible that two buses packed with commuters collided this morning in peak hour traffic, one smashing into a concrete fence and the other almost hitting a nearby Rea Vaya station near the University of Johannesburg's Kingsway campus, causing 77 injuries. 19 of the injured passengers are UJ students who are travelling in a shuttle bus between campuses. An investigation is now underway to determine the cause of the crash. Paramedics, together with the Johannesburg Fire Department, had to use the jaws of life to free some of the injured. Both drivers were taken to hospital.
You've got Johannesburg Metro Police Department here. They're doing their measurement, they're checking and also looking at the footage because UJ has a camera right here to see exactly what happened, who's on the wrong and how the accident happened. That is the next step to determine the cause of the accident, and then from there we'll then update all people concerned as to what's the next step.
Defiant in her defence, adamant that she was not part of a plot to kill Meyiwa or cover up whose real killers were. Singer Zandile Khumalo's wrapped up her testimony at the rebooted trial after a tough week on the stand.
But what also deludes me, the neighbours, didn't they see anybody running along the street, either up or down?
What I know is that there are neighbors from whom the police took statements. As to what is contained or what they said in those statements, I don't know.
Because it's amazing, in the location, the person just vanishes. No, not even one person who said, I saw somebody jumping a fence, Ebokaya, or that type of thing. Nobody saw anything.
She and others were at the house the night the Bafana captain was shot. Khumalo testified that two intruders accosted the group of friends at the Khumalo household in 2014. She says 3 shots were fired in a scuffle with the alleged robbers, with a fatal shot striking Meyiwa in the chest.
Presentation of the evidence is no longer going to be in the order that the state would have liked.
Okay.
The other witnesses that were in the house can only be available next week.
This afternoon, the court heard from a new witness. Kaya Ngache is one of the neighbours that carried Meyiwa's body after he was shot. And with that, the lights finally go back on in Johannesburg's CBD. City Power started restoring power this morning, some 7 days after the underground gas explosion that ripped open an extensive strip of Lillian Goy Street. Residents and businesses have been without electricity and water ever since. One person was killed and more than 40 others injured in the blast. City Power's Isaac Mangena says after assessing the damage to the local electricity infrastructure, they can confirm it is minimal.
Except for just one line, especially where the explosion happened, which carries about 3 feeders. That is where the problem is.
The man dubbed the July 2021 unrest investigator, Mdumiseni Zuma, has admitted in court that his words in the viral video he shared at the time caused disruption. Today marks day 2 of Zuma's trial in the Pietermaritzburg Magistrates Court. He's charged with incitement to commit public violence and arson linked to the burning of the Brookside Mall. Zuma was seen on video footage inside the mall calling for people to loot the mall should it open.
In his defense to the court, Mdumiseni Zuma admitted that indeed he did utter words that may have persuaded some to loot the Brookside Mall in Pietermaritzburg. However, he says this was not his intention, as he only shared the video on his WhatsApp with his close associates, friends and family, saying it was meant to be a mere joke. However, this resulted to the looting of the mall, which then cost the province's economy. The trial continues. Pietermaritzburg.
No longer wanted in any leadership position. Former ANC Women's League President Bathabile Dlamini has not made it to the League's list of 40 newly elected additional members. They were voted in by delegates at the league's much-delayed conference in Johannesburg at the weekend. Dlamini, who lost to Sisisi Tolashe in the race for presidency, has seemingly lost support from the branches of the Women's League. This means she's failed to make the top 5 of the league, further not getting enough votes to be elected into its highest decision-making body. With just over 1,000 votes, ANC PEC member in Limpopo, Johanna Apiri, has come out on top in the election of additional members. This is how South African firefighters got through battling devastating wildfires in Canada by singing at the top of their lungs. Working on Fire has this month deployed a third team of firefighters to that country to bolster firefighting operations. Fires have been raging since late May, and since then, thousands of people have been forced to evacuate their homes. The organisation says the first 2 teams, known as Mzansi 1 Hotshots and Mzansi 2 Hotshots, were previously deployed to Alberta and garnered high praise from Canadian wildfire authorities, completing their 35-day fire mission with 0 injuries.
We're just building that relationship. We promise to provide resources when there's a need. And particularly our firefighters that are very well trained in wildfire and forestry, and they are excellent in what they do.
South Africa is the second largest deployment in Canada after the US. So with co-hosts, New Zealand losing out to the Philippines has put their knockout hopes in jeopardy. For more on day 6 of the FIFA Women's World Cup, here's TK's take.
We're officially into the second round at the Women's World Cup, but it wasn't a positive result for co-host New Zealand, who lost 1-0 to the Philippines. That result for the Philippines puts them in a perfect position to qualify for the last 16, while New Zealand will have to hope other results go in their favour if they're to reach the knockout rounds at their own home World Cup. While New Zealand will hope that results go in their favour as they aim to reach the knockout rounds at their own home World Cup. Other results saw Colombia claim just their second ever win at a Women's World Cup as they beat South Korea 2-0, while the game between Switzerland and Norway ended in a goalless result. For African fans, they can look forward to Nigeria being in action on Wednesday morning. Meanwhile, the praise has come in from President Gianni Infantino, who's admitted that the ticket sales for this tournament have now surpassed the 1.5 million mark. Tolagile Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
And that's it for today. See you again tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.